Welcome back to The Time of Your Life. I'm your host, Ethel Rasmussen. There's a saying that hidden bias is an opportunity for education. Today's show is just that, since it continues with more information about the LGBTQIA community so that we can create inclusive and welcoming communities. Our special guest is Dion Coleman, a licensed clinical social worker, to share her expertise. Dion, thank you for being on today's show.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
In our previous segment, Jackie Lofton shared information about an upcoming workshop series the Department of Aging has planned for LGBTQIA older adults and allies. The LGBTQIA community, however, has historically faced adversities and challenges. Can you share information about those adversities, including as it relates to social stigma, family, the media, and other issues like discrimination and inequality?
So, when we think of the older LGBTQI community, one of the biggest challenges for this population is that historically they've been understudied. So, there's not a lot of research that dictates the type of programming and education and training needed for people, professionals, and for the community to help this meet the specific needs of this population. So that's what makes events like the Baltimore County's Pride event so important. We need to bring attention to these issues because this population is underrepresented in movies, in television, and other forms of media. And this can make a person feel alone in the world. And for many in this population, we have to remember that they've lived their lives with this part of their life secret. And so that amount of hidden love and life for yourself it can make you feel alone already. And so in a situation where you don't feel like you have a voice, you don't feel like you're represented, there's so much pain and trauma associated with that. On top of that, many of these individuals have past trauma. They've had historical experiences of discrimination or prejudice or bias or just oppression. And so this keeps them from sharing many of the truths about themselves. The big secret of this lifestyle can lead to self-isolation. It can lead to feelings of discontentment. It can lead to a sense of disconnection and definitely depression. A lot of times family members are not supportive, they're not understanding, particularly when an older adult comes out later in life. Their family doesn't really have a window from which to view this, and so they don't know how to support. And there's not programming out here to teach them how do you support an older loved one who comes out later in life to tell you that I've been gay all my life, but I've been living a lie.
Dion, what about health concerns within the LGBTQIA community?
People are surprised at this statistic, but for older adults in general, not just for the LGBTQI community, but for older adults in general, STDs is a big deal. The CDC reports that from 2010 to 2020, cases of STDs doubled in the 65 and older population. So this is just a general concern for that population. But for the LGBTQI older population, that concern is heightened as studies show that this particular population are not always honest with their healthcare providers, which means that they miss opportunities for certain tests that are associated with risk factors that are specific to the lifestyle. So this can lead to getting diagnosis later or even missing some opportunities to get early treatment for things that could be easily treated if it was addressed earlier.
Dion, building allies or a support system can create life-changing positive outcomes. Please share why building a foundation is critical.
Everyone in life needs a team. You have to have people you can count on when you want to talk, when you want to hang out, when you just need to cry, scream, be yourself. And so for the older population, who we have to remember are dealing with issues associated with health, they're losing friends due to death and illness. They have new limitations that they're dealing with, like a decline in their ability to just move the way they want to, address activities of daily living like cooking and cleaning and driving. And on top of this, they're having declines in both their mental and physical health. And so for this population, having your own team is so important. everybody in life needs people that they can count on. But for this population, building alliances, having those healthy connections, having mutually beneficial reciprocal relationships, like these are the things that are germane to having a healthier and happier life.
In closing, thinking about everything we've discussed, how can we all be more inclusive and welcoming with the LGBTQIA community?
The best thing we can do is love them the way we want to be loved. We need to educate ourselves about the community. We need to meet people exactly where they are, no matter their age, their race, their gender, their sexual orientation, their identity. We have to be open-minded. We have to be flexible in our thinking. All of us, every single human being is made up of many parts. So we're the sum of all those parts. And when we interact with the older LGBTQI community, we need to make sure that we remember that their sexual identity or their sexual orientation does not define who they are.
Dion, thank you for sharing your expertise on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an honor.